Hello, and just a little something to start the week off, as I'm off for a few days now. I'm doing the Dinky Stalwart, and it's a lovely little model. It's towards the end of Dinky's production, as Dinky were in Liverpool. Anyway, the Stalwart was a British Army vehicle made by Alvis in the 60s, and it was based on the 6-wheel drive chassis, except for this one they made it amphibian also, and it was outstandingly manoeuvrable and could go over most ground. Here it is at a motor show, and the British Army used them for mostly supply through Royal Logistics and stuff, but they used them for ammunition supply to artillery units and such, where my brother got a go at one on exercise, and they were also amphibious, as can be seen here, handy for going for the shopping in a flood. And this has obviously been someone's village during flooding. And another thing that was a sight to behold was when they leapt into the water. The photograph here shows pretty much the result of one that's made a spirited leap into the water. And once in, they were pretty manoeuvrable, as they had a jet drive system on them that pushed water jets around and moved them around in the water. Anyway, here's my starting point. A beat up and battered old Dinky from what was the genuine Dinky's end of days. You could tell they'd got to that point in production where, we can't be arsed anymore. The chassis was clipped together, the wheels just clipped onto it, the screen was made out of vac-formed flimsy plastic, there isn't even an interior in it, and it's just a cheap vehicle. I bought it in a job lot off eBay, and as is usual with me, I don't pay a great deal for any of my lots. I think this lot was £12, so it works out at about £2 a vehicle, so not a lot in reality, and I've got a few to be getting on there with. I've got a duck, an hovercraft, Austin Champ. Anyway, here I'm punching it all in the base, punching the rivet so I have a spot for the drill to centre on. And there we can see the handsome looking cab. No, it's not an handsome cab, those are a different thing, and here I'm drilling to get the rivets out. Unfortunately it slipped, and it's got a couple more holes in the base than it should have, but yeah, there we go. It's livable with. It's not one of the most expensive or desirable models. And here I'm taking it apart, where you can see the parts and just how much Dinky had given up at that point. It's just not Dinky's quality really. It's a cheap throw together quality. Well, it's certainly well below the par of Dinky's heyday. And here I'm drilling the post, ready to tap for a screw to be accepted. Just drilling into the post, which was fairly easy. They've got big posts at least. Also, I don't show it in the video, but I had to straighten the cab out a bit as it was bent a bit. So it went on the vice and got knocked into shape with my hammer. And here, I'm just tidying up the ends of the posts with the grinder, ready for when it goes back together. And here I'm tapping out the post, ready to accept screws for actually putting it together. And there's an Easter egg there for you of what will be coming up, if you can guess the vehicle. And here it's into the caustic jar of doom, or even the caustic bath of doom. Da da da. The reassuring plink plink fizz of Alka-Seltzer. Well, you'd have more than a bloody hangover to worry if you had that. And here we are, still bubbling away. Bubble bubble, toilet trouble. And here we are, on to the next bit. And it's going into primer. Ready for a colour coat. Here we come down, spraying it on a bit more. Just I always prime vehicles, it makes the paint to stick better. There we go, that should be the primer finished. And next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. No, he's not, it's going into paint. And I'm using Attacker military colours there. The nice acrylics for military subjects. And that one's actually a World War II RAF green. Which works quite well for colour I wanted. As close as damn it. I don't think they actually measured what colours they actually used for military stuff, because there's so many different colours of greens on the military stuff. All seem to be variations of olive, or there's a dark green they used. Variations of that. But you're never far out of row. The same ballpark with military greens. You get an olive green and you're going to be pretty close. There we are, giving it a couple more coats. Going in, getting in, making sure it's covered in all areas. As it's usually hard to get paint to cover in truck bodies when you're spraying inside the body, because it bounces off the sides and doesn't cover well. And here we have the lesser spotted paint booth. And there we go again. Anyways, we're going to be coming out of the booth in a second. And at this point, I'm showing the chassis off. And I'm spraying it with WD-40. Because it's black plastic, I'm not going to be painting it. You can do, but it's not great for paint sticking to anyway, the plastic. And I'm just scrubbing getting the rust marks off as much as I can with WD-40, which it works okay for cleaning stuff. There we are, scrubbing in the louvers. It's got rid of the rust marking. And there we go. I've also sandpapered the axles to remove the rot off them. And here we are, some paint pens, acrylic paint pens. I've decided to give them a go for certain things, and this one's an ideal thing to show them out on. What I'm doing here, I'm dotting in the side light markers in white, go around the rear and the rear reflectors in white. I know, you're shouting they're meant to be red, you'll see in a sec. And next up, we'll be going for an orange. And that one's for the indicators. And next the red will be coming out. And all you need is a dot in the middle of the white. As they were like a white rubber, and they had the reflector in the middle of it. And here I've got a cigarette lighter out and holding the tyres on it. Well, the plastic wheels, don't burn them for too long obviously or you'll melt them, but it's just for taking all the fuzzy plastic off it. Heat it up and spin it round on it. It gets rid of the fuzzy worn effect on it. There we are, you can see it come up nicer. You'll never get them perfect as they're old plastic wheels, and it's difficult to get them back, if nigh on impossible sometimes. It's one of them things, once it's damaged, it's damaged. But you can make them look a little better. And here, what I'm doing here, I'm dipping into the jar of joy with the wheels. Hey diddly dee, a better life for me. And there we go. It's out. So what we'll do next, we'll do the other two. Come on, I said we'll do the other two. Oh, come on, will you? Stop messing about, fatty. We want to see this today. And there we go. Number 2 setting. Don't tell me we'll have to wait for number 3 now. It's like waiting for a bloody woman getting changed. Oh, we're going out with it. Yeah, right. Have a couple of beers in, last you till 10. And there we go, that's the wheels dunked. And next up, fit them back into the chassis. As I said, it's a cheap and nasty assembly, this one. They just clip-ons or clip-ins. whichever way you prefer to say it. They just clip into the chassis. And there I was just giving it a bit of an assistance. Yeah, I'm taking the screws out as I put them in. For when I spray the bodies, I usually use vice grips to clip onto the posts, so if you put the screws in them, it stops you collapsing the posts. There we are, I've got my little screwdriver there. Zip it back together. And there you are, the front one. And anyway, here's where we started. A battered used, heavily played with in the sandpit of life. Dinky Stalwart. It's quite a nice model, even though it's one of Dinky's cheap options. I'm sure if you'd have had the old style rubber tyres and the proper axles and working features and a decent plastic in the cab and an interior, it'd have been an absolutely outstanding Dinky model. But as it was just a cheap half-arsed idea. Anyway, here we go with the finished item. There's still a little rust staining on the centre of the axles, but other than that, it's looking quite presentable again. The glass is that thin and for cheap vac form that it didn't get a buffing. It just got a wash and a wipe over. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, please subscribe. I know there's hundreds of you watch, and only a small percentage have subscribed. It'd be great if other watchers would push that button. And thanks to all my subscribers and everyone. Take care out there. Hopefully things are getting better soon. Bye for now.